Zdravo.
Ciao.
From Montenegro.
From Montenegro, very close to Italy.
Yeah, we are actually. So I was shocked at how close it is to Italy. I don't know where I thought Montenegro was, but I didn't think it was here.
See, I kind of knew the geography of it, but I didn't realise it was that close to Italy. So I'm not very good at geography, but I did know roughly where it was. I knew it was in the Balkans.
Well, that's good. We were nearly at a wedding here.
Yes, we did, but then they actually got married in France.
In Nice, it was very nice.
Yeah, it was beautiful. There we go. There we go.
I can't help it. But yes, it was a very beautiful wedding. But yes, we are in Podgorica in Montenegro.
Podgorica.
Yes, and Scott can't hear it without repeating it in an Italian accent.
I just think that I'm expecting people to be Italian here.
Yeah, and I can see it being a similar vibe. We've been here for less than 24 hours. But I can see there being a similar vibe of the people.
Yeah, there's no reason for it to be Italian, because, again, this isn't Italy. This is a different country. They speak
but it's just a hop, skip and a drum.
Montenegrin.
Montenegrin, yeah.
Montenegrin. I wanted to be careful that last bit of the word.
But it's not even in Google Translate.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I thought you were taking the piss when you said it. I thought they might speak Albanian, because we've just been to Kosovo, which is only next door, and they speak Albanian, and in Albania, they speak Albanian. So I thought, maybe Albania, / maybe a bit of Italian. I thought that might be sort of the merge of around here. But I don't know. We have had someone say ciao to us, which is very Italian.
Yes.
And because of proximity, and I just can't say Podgorica without an Italian accent, because I just think it sounds Italian.
It does.
But no doubt we'll go into town and they'll just sound completely different.
Yeah, and ciao is spelt differently here, so it sounds the same as ciao in Italian.
Yeah, we don't know yet. We had a taxi driver who was Turkish.
He was so nice.
He was a dream, so that wasn't a representation of the local people. Then we've
not
said,
that the local people are nice, just that we didn't.
No, I just mean from not a local who didn't know his accent and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we've had one word from someone in a shop, which was ciao, and I went, oh, okay, a little bit of Italian. So, yet to see. It's not because we're uncultured and we don't actually go engage with people. We literally got here last night. We've woken up, we've worked all day. It's now 10 p.m. We're recording this. I'm sorry we're late. We were stuck on the border of Albania.
Yes. A legitimate excuse. What I think is really funny is the fact that we went in that little supermarket. It's somewhere in between a mini mart and a corner shop. Like, it was not big, but it was resourceful. But I love how, like, the woman working there said ciao, and we just lit up. We were like, we know that one, ciao, ciao, ciao. And then we just kept saying ciao until we left.
Yeah.
Like, ciao, oh, ciao, ciao, thank you, ciao.
Ciao, yeah.
But yeah, I think it's interesting that there are so, like, and you just don't really think about all the different languages in the world. Like, you have your standard that you come across, like, I don't know, like Italian, French, German, Japanese, Chinese, Mandarin, Cantonese, like the ones that you hear about. Anti-cultured, naming all the languages I've heard of.
So cultured. To be fair, even though everyone says, Mandarin is one of the widely spoken languages, I can't say I've heard many people speak Mandarin, have me?
No. Well, I used to work with someone who was half Chinese, and she spoke Cantonese. And there was a Chinese guest. It was when I worked in Disney, and this guest came in and he looked really confused, like he didn't speak any English. And then the woman that I worked with just said something to him, and then like he understood and was like, nodding his head. And then she got on the phone and put him on with a translator. But we were all so impressed. We're like, oh my God, what did you say to him? And she said, I just said the word Mandarin in Mandarin to him. That's all I know. But we were so impressed. We're like, oh my God, she's speaking to me in Chinese.
Oh, wow. Just said the word Mandarin to him. And he was impressed by that.
No, we were like,
oh, right,
us uncultured, only English speakers.
Oh, that's funny.
Because it was in the UK pavilion of Epcot. So like we're all, English, Scottish, Irish and Welsh. Northern Irish, I should be more specific. I don't think you can go if you are from the Republic.
Oh, really? They won't class you as Irish?
Well, no, because right. Here's the thing: Epcot, like the World Showcase, all the different countries. This is so not what we're going to talk about.
No.
All the different countries are themed around the year 1901, I think, which is, I believe, the year that Walt Disney was born. And at that point, please forgive me if I'm getting this wrong, but at that point, the North and South weren't separated of Ireland. Like the Republic and the North were like one island.
Right.
Which I also think, being the operative word, please write in and correct me if I'm wrong, was part of the UK.
Oh.
And then the Republic separated, is my understanding of it. And I should really, really know this for facts, but I don't.
Well, I haven't a clue if that helps.
Okay, it does help. But, so anyway, like, a lot of the things in the pavilions, like even the costumes that people, like the cast members wear, like the clothes, like the uniforms, they were like the type of clothes that would have been worn at that time. In fact, yeah, I do remember, because we used to get a lot of like snarky customers being like, why have you got an island jumper when Ireland's not even a part of the UK? I don't know why I did it in that accent and not an American accent.
Standard British tourist there.
And the response from, also I might say the same woman who's half Chinese that I work with, was like, actually, sir, the United Kingdom pavilion is themed around the year 1901, which was the year that Walt Disney was born. At that point, Ireland was part of the United Kingdom. So, if I'm wrong,
fun saying
we
that.
can blame her. Why did I say any of that?
We were talking about languages.
Yes.
And something interesting about languages, I've learnt there are 7,000 of them.
Oh my God.
And it's forever growing, and apparently 40% of them are endangered.
Interesting. I bet Welsh is one of them.
I hope not.
Well, ask ChatGPT if Welsh is endangered.
Why would Welsh be endangered?
Because how many people speak it?
Well, yeah, but we're not a dying population. It's still thriving in north of Wales and in somewhere in Argentina.
I love we've got to go there.
Yeah, well, yeah, we absolutely will. Apparently the most linguistically diverse countries include Papua New Guinea, which is interesting because that's near Australia, Indonesia, I wouldn't have expected this one, Nigeria.
Interesting.
I can imagine Indonesia.
Yeah, I can see so many islands.
Yeah, Papua New Guinea, I guess it's the tribes that are probably driving that.
I think that's an archipelago, isn't it? Like Lost Islands.
The archipelago.
Yeah, it's an archipelago.
You can't say that word without being a toff. Yeah, you cannot say it.
I don't even know if I said it right.
Yeah.
That was the first time I've ever said it out loud.
Kimmy in the archipelago. Yeah.
Tilly and Timmy.
Tilly and Timmy. But, yeah. Indonesia, yeah.
Playing boulder dash. Is that even a sport?
Boulder dash?
Boulder dash.
No, boulders is a sport.
Yeah.
Very popular in the UK.
Yes.
Quite boring, but it's a sport.
Yeah.
It's a kind of game that, even though it's really boring, it's an old person sport.
Wait, what is?
You'll always... Boulders. Bowls.
That's
sorry.
bowls, yeah.
Bowls,
Bouldering's
not
climbing,
bowls.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is, sorry. Bowls. But you'll always find it's at, like, a barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
Like... Or that's top tier. If they're top tier barbecuing, then they've got croquet. So
yeah,
that's top tier.
That will be top tier. But you know that Sue and Tim's going to show up to the barbecue with a bowl set.
Yeah, they're going to have a bowl set, and Emma's like, "Do I have all?" Like, nah. If we've got croquet, we're all doing croquet because croquet is good fun. Croquet is good fun.
We have a little bit off track, but we did start telling you about being in Montenegro. And we were in a really cool Airbnb, which actually we didn't book until we were on the bus. And the bus we didn't book until the day before. The bus from Pristina in Kosovo to Podgorica it's a pretty random route, isn't it?
It's a bizarre route, and I'm sure we took the extra long route.
We did. So like as the crow flies, I'm sure it would only take like 2 hours to drive. It's like if you could go in a direct line, it would take no time at all.
If you took a plane, it'd take an hour.
Well, yeah, probably even less than.
Yeah, but going on planes, when you do it a lot, you get sick of them.
Yeah, and not only that, you've got to even if your flight's only an hour, you've got to factor in being there 2 hours before, setting off an hour before that. So you're talking at least 4 hours there.
Yeah, it's a whole fuss. You have to drop all your liquids. You have to pay for all your baggage. So the cost of a flight for doing, if you're doing, an 18 or not even 18, if you need to do a 6 hour plus flight, then fair enough. But if you want to go to the country over and it's, drivable, then it just makes way more sense to get a bus. Because the cost difference, all in taxes there, paying for the luggage, everything, we're probably saving like 400 quid.
Easily. The bus was €15 each.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And then we got a deal on an eSIM as well.
Yeah, and we got eSIM, yeah.
And we found that in a couple of places, actually, when you book travel, they'll sometimes throw in, when you're checking out, there'll be either a free eSIM or like a really cheap one, so keep an eye out for that when you're booking stuff. But it took us just over 7 hours, I think, the drive that should have taken 2, but I think really maybe 3. But it went in a V from like Podgorica down into Albania. So from Podgorica, from Pristina into Albania, and then back up from Albania into Montenegro. So it was like we crossed a border twice. We went into Albania and out of Albania within a couple of hours.
Yeah, it was a strange experience to do that. I've crossed not many borders like that before, but I've crossed them before. But to be able to cross 2 country borders, that was quite a unique experience.
Yeah. Leaving Pristina, we didn't have to do any. The guy got on board.
He got on board and took our passports.
And the tour guide took our passports multiple times and took photos of our tickets multiple times.
Yeah, he was furious we had a digital ticket. We read the reviews just saying the bus is fine, but the guy gets really angry if you don't have a paper ticket.
Yeah.
And he literally, everyone's giving him paper tickets, then us two and the 2 people next to us gave him a digital, and he just instantly got so angry at it. Just instantly.
Paper.
Yeah, he literally was saying paper, and he was just like proper tapping on the phone, like just like hitting the phone. And he got so sick of it, he then lent my phone on the top of a chair. And we were coming up to a corner, I was like, that's going to fly off. And it just, all that happens, it flew off and just hit the woman in the head.
I know.
I was like, that's going to fall straight off that chair. I can see a corner coming up. There's a woman sat in front of that chair. That is going to clip her. It's done.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's fine, and walked off.
Yeah, no apologies for anything.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't too happy.
No. Well, I've got a pretty heavy phone.
Yeah.
Got a pretty heavy phone. But I must say, I wasn't expecting it to be as chaotic as it was.
No, to be honest, I wasn't. Because we'd done some long distance bus travel or coach travel in Thailand, and it was like luxury.
Oh, it was lovely.
That's Thailand.
Big leather recliner.
Yeah.
Seats, aircon. You could have just slept for the full
LED lighting, like it was like being on an Emirates
hours.
flight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that right. You could be basically horizontal, and this was like, the local coach company that your school hires to take you to the pantomime. Was it like that? Was
yeah. The aircon sucked.
Chewing gum on it. Not all the seats went back. Not all the seats would sit up.
None of the seat belts worked. The aircon was rubbish. It was quite tight. It felt tight.
Yeah.
As well, I didn't feel like I had much room. The main thing for me is just the thing that keeps me calm is being cool.
Yeah.
If I have a cool room, it goes a long way in keeping me chill. But the second I feel stuffy or sweaty, it really changes my ability to relax.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm the same. Whenever we if we're talking about something like planning travel, and I get a bit overwhelmed, I'll just start stripping off, don't I? Because I get too hot. It's that stress and makes you feel hot. So, yeah.
Well, I noticed that recently about you, didn't I?
Yeah.
I said it to you a few days ago. When you talk about something that, something sensitive, it doesn't have to be something crazy serious, but something that maybe has vexed you that day or something that may be sensitive. A lot of the time I've noticed is you'll it's like 2 seconds after it, like, oh, it is hot, isn't it? And you'll just you'll be rushing around the apartment to get the aircon on, colder, get any jumps on. But it's so funny because it comes directly after you sharing something. But I totally resonate with you. Your body temperature does heat up when you're stressed.
Yeah, exactly. And and I think vice versa, if you are hot, then you're more likely to feel stressed.
Yeah, it escalates it.
Yeah. So the bus wasn't the most comfortable in the world. I mean, we downloaded lots of content. For me, it went a lot quicker than I think it did for you.
Yeah, let's give them an idea of why we're saying chaos, because we just said it's a bit of a poor bus at the moment. So we had the bus. The other thing was, for the first hour and a half, the more people coming on, and also they oversold the tickets, so a freaking woman and child had to just sit on the floor for quite a while.
Really?
Yeah, a woman was sat on the step, just because there weren't enough seats. Literally, the next stop where we got people, there wasn't enough seats on the bus, and she just sat. And then that nice Dutch guy was alternating with her.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I didn't.
That's why
I was oblivious.
That's why her kid came and sat with the dodgy guy, who we'll get into in a minute. Sat with him for a minute, which I'm going to tell you what I think about that in a minute. But to give you some other insight, we had this weird guy, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And on top of that, Shelby was adamant we weren't switching buses, and I was convinced then we weren't, even though I'd seen on the itinerary we were. And I don't know, I just felt like I couldn't concentrate on content. I felt like there was always something going on the bus. People were moving all the time.
Yeah.
People getting off, people were moving about, moving back. I just felt there was lots always going on. I was like, the bus felt like it just never settled.
Was multiple people listening to content without headphones, which is like...
Yeah.
Oh my god, one of the most annoying things in the world.
It's one of my pet hates, that is people playing anything out loud on their phone.
Yeah, I like having a phone call as well in public on speaker. Like, why are you doing that?
It infuriates me. And then, at 9 p.m. or whatever the time was, the guy comes charging. We've stopped, and the guy who's running the tour comes charging the bus, shouting Podgorica, get off. So, we're in a daze because we didn't realise we had to get off. So we're getting off, and we go from a coach, and it's not an understatement, to the bus. It's not even a bus, it's like a van. For me, it's what would take... It's the bus that would take the people who got to PE late. So when, if for PE, you sometimes would go down to the fields and you'd have to get a coach. We did, at least. We got a bus that would drive us down. If you were late to that, then the bus wouldn't be there, and then they'd have to get the P van. It would be, like a mini bus, and then they would quickly drive you down there because you've missed the bus. It was a mini bus, and we had 2 huge suitcases, 3 other bags, all just to put in the boot, and then on top of that we had 2 other bags that we had on our person. So we had 7 bags. And there was already 20 people on it, and it barely had a boot. And when they were half filling it up, I was like, there's absolutely no chance they're going to get our suitcases on this. To be fair, I don't know how he did it, but...
I don't, but it was literally holding it with one hand, and then quickly shutting the lid of the boot with his other hand. And then locking it. I'm like, well, I don't know if you stood there when you opened that.
No, I don't know how it didn't... Well, when we stopped in Albania, I don't know how it didn't kill the bus driver when he opened it.
Right.
I was just... When he went out to open the back, I was like, oh my God, we're going to hear a really awful sound in a minute. I was just wincing, thinking, we are going to hear someone get clouted in a minute. So, I don't know. But it was just chaotic. Then they were doing circles around a city in Albania, and we're like, why are we in Albania? Why are they stopping in Albania? Then half the people in the bus didn't realise they had to get off in Albania, and they seemed upset about the location that they'd been dropped off in Albania.
Yeah.
And then the bus driver started pulling all the luggage out the boot, and they started
asking people, like, is this your bag?
Yeah, is this yours or this yours? And it was broken English, so then people were getting confused. Like, some people thought, oh, we're supposed to get off now? Why have you got my bag out the boot? But I figured it out, all they were trying to do is just make it a bit easier in the boot. But it was just so confusing. Like, we were now on this minibus. And also that guy was going way over the speed limit. But that's all.
Was it?
Oh my God, yeah. It was a 50, he was going like 90. And then, I mean, you can tell them about going over that Montenegro border.
So we'd already crossed the border into Albania, and that was like when they came on the big bus and checked our passports. But when we were leaving Albania, we had to get off the bus and then like all queue up and show our passports to the border person. And then we were like, okay, grand, all got back on the bus. It drove about 10 metres forwards, and then we had to get off the bus again and show them to enter Montenegro. So like, I was like, if I'd have known, I wouldn't have bothered. Like, we all got back in seat, and I'm not exaggerating, at like 10 metres, that's all it was, if that. It was the most... So yeah, but then we managed to get a stamp. We got a smile off of the border patrol, and then...
The border control people were lovely.
Yeah.
Both for Albania and Montenegro. They were lovely.
Yeah. I'm going to Kosovo as well. Like, when
Kosovo, yeah, sorry. All the border control people were really nice. They weren't intimidating. They weren't shoving rifles in your face. They were real chill.
Yeah. So it was a fun experience. Like, I'm not... we did get a stamp, so I'm super happy about that. But it's just cool, like, to... I mean, there's huge queues of coaches, so I'm glad we were in a minivan. Did you see all the trucks and the people getting out?
Oh, right. No, I didn't see that.
So where we pulled in, there's like the different lanes for the border.
Yeah.
On the right-hand side, there were queues and queues and queues of lorries and coaches, and people were like even stood outside them just sort of waiting.
Wow.
So we went in the queue that had a picture of a car on it. Like, so theirs were like...
Oh, and he tried to take over all the cars.
Yeah, he did.
He's like, couldn't be asked waiting, so he just drove past them all in the other lane thinking he'd take them. And there was no one in that other lane to serve us, so then he just got out of the bus and just stood. Yeah. And just sort of tried to interject between all the cars going through. It's quite funny.
Yeah. But would you like to share about the guy on the... coach?
Yeah, my summary of him, my honest summary is I think he's a predator.
Yeah.
I'll give you 3 reasons why. 1, he was sat at the front, and then for like a good half hour, and then
even longer. I think he was sitting for like ages.
Maybe an hour, and then all of a sudden he just came to the back, really randomly, and just was looking about where to sit. Saw a woman, and he went, oh, could I sit? And she was like asleep.
Yeah. So
it seemed a bit. There were other seats available.
Yeah.
So already that was like a strange...
She got like her bag, hasn't she? She was in the window seat and she got her bag on the aisle seat.
Yeah. And she was like asleep. So that was a bit of a strange thing to do already. And then he just seemed like he was trying to make conversation with her. And she was like, dude, I'm sleeping. And then he just started going on his phone, just kept doing phone calls. Anyway, she ends up eventually moving. I think I don't know whether he had maybe done anything. She didn't vocalise anything, but it was clear to me she was moving because she was uncomfortable around him. Because she was comfortable there.
Yeah.
He appeared, and 40 minutes later she's like, I'm fucking late. And she got up, and she just went to a different seat.
Yeah.
So I think he made her feel quite uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I think that's key to know as well, that there were, like, directly behind the seat that he sat in next to her was a seat next to a man, but obviously he wasn't going to choose that one.
No, he seemed... Yeah, he was... No, I was watching him a lot, because I didn't like how he was acting at all, just the way he was. He just seemed off. And then he was just on the phone. I don't know who he was on the phone to. The second reason... this is where it got quite serious. We picked up some more people, and those came on, and they'd overbooked the bus, so suddenly these people don't have seats. There was a kid that got on, who was a kid of one of the people there. This guy does not know this kid. He has no relation to this kid. But he can see he obviously understands language, he can see that, there's not enough seats. And he is like actively I'm not joking, he's actively trying to get the kid over. It was weird. This kid has just come on the bus with his mother, and he kept on like shouting to, come, sit here, come, like really, to the point where he eventually stood up, walked over, grabbed the kid's hand, and said, come on, and just encouraged him over. And then he sat, his seat and the seat next to him was already taken, but he just said, you can sit on the seat with me. And then he held him, and I was watching him intently. I was like, that's odd. Like, you could argue it was an act of kindness, but he's already got, predator alert. And now this random kid, he's like gone out of his way to be like, you kid.
He got him sat on his knee, hasn't he?
Yeah, like on his knee, and like had his arm out. I was watching his hand intently.
But why didn't he just give up his seat for him? Like, if he was so hell-bent on helping.
I don't know. And you could also question where was the mother, because the mother didn't seem to care. She didn't ever come up or say anything. So, I don't know. I wouldn't have no fucking way would I be having a kid sitting next to some random man.
No.
And get fucked. And he was just being weird. Again, I didn't see him do anything. It'd be nuts if he even tried. But he was, he had held of the kid. And I just found that very... And the kid did look a bit uncomfortable. He did look a bit like... He was looking around like... he was trying to figure out whether he should stay there or go. He couldn't, figure it out. He was, sort of in... He was confused whether he should be with this random man or not. So that was the one I was most worried about. So I was watching it intently. Luckily, the tour operator eventually figured out this kid was, we're not with his mother, and I think someone got off and he basically instructed the kid to calm down. Luckily, the tour operator figured that out.
Yeah.
The final thing is when the kid finally got taken off, there were two new women next to him, a mother and daughter. The freaking daughter that dropped her phone fucking 11 times.
Oh, directly in front of us.
Yeah, dropped it every freaking 5 minutes.
It fell on my foot one time.
Yeah. And he looked so happy when those two sat there. He looked and he was I couldn't count on two hands how many times he looked over him. He looked like he had a grin on his face when two women appeared. And he was proper he wasn't sly about it. He was, he was trying to catch their eye.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example of how he tried even harder. Was she had mentioned to her daughter, "Oh, the sunlight's catching me." He bounced up, ran, went ahead a few rows, didn't say "excuse me, sir," just leant over two people and just pulled their curtain across to stop. And then he looked back at the one, went to show her he instantly helped her. I just think he gave me such bad Predator vibes.
Yeah.
And he just looked scummy. He had a fake Gucci hat. He gave me proper scummy Predator vibes. So that's my summary on it and my evidence.
Yes, I agree. And I think we're going to have to put a trigger warning on this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. You know, when you travel a lot, I think we've been quite fortunate to not really come across many creepy people when we're travelling. So I guess, as someone who's travelled a lot as a woman on my own, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd just say to the listener, if you're ever in a situation like that, just go and sit next to someone else. Don't sit there. I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking, if I was her, if I was on a bus like that and I got my bag on the outside and some rando man came and wanted to sit next to me, I think I'd have probably been like, "There's a seat there." I think that would be probably that suggest that they sit elsewhere, or if there isn't anywhere else, then I would want to be on the aisle. I wouldn't want to be on the window. So yeah, those would be my suggestions, and then you've got more space. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you just need to get yourself out of the situation as soon as possible. If there's any uncomforted, you know, the rest of the bus aren't going to be predators, you know. There's going to be some good people on that bus that you're on. And especially, I think, really the person you probably want to... the person that's going to understand your situation the quickest is another woman, would be my guess.
Yeah, totally.
So find a woman, maybe a mother, and maybe you need to... You know, you can tell in someone's eyes whether they're distressed. Like, if you're really distressed, maybe you just need to give them a look. And if they don't act, then, you know, maybe say, oh, I need to go to the toilet, and then, even if you feel really threatened, then communicate to someone else on the bus.
Yeah.
Because once they know, they're going to have your back, and they're going to be like...
Totally. And, like, women just know, like, girl code, you know, if you just pretend to know another woman... and be like, that guy's being really weird, so I'm going to come and sit with you. I know that we said we'd sit apart. But, you know, like, if you pretended to know another woman...
Yes.
...and made it clear that there's a creepy... like, we've got each other's backs.
Women know, don't they? Yeah.
Women just know. So, yeah, I mean, that took a bit of a dark turn. But I think it's important to share these things because, you know, someone might be getting buses on their own or even as couples still and not think to look out for... dodgy people. And it's not to say like, oh my god, you've got to be on alert at all times, but just, yeah, be aware.
I think it's just being conscious, of your surrounding. I mean, you have to be somewhat conscious of your surroundings when you're travelling because, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're travelling to the safest place or the most dangerous place. At the end of the day, once you know, leave your four walls of your house and you go to another country, and if it's just you or just you and your partner, it's on you to survive. And I know it sounds kind of ridiculous, but there are moments in travelling when you do have scary moments. And those scary moments could be something as small as, I guess this could be big as well. Oh crap, we've been walking for 2 miles. We've got 5 more miles left and we've got no water left. And it's 35 degrees. You know, that might not seem dangerous, but all of a sudden that could become quite dangerous.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, if no one's around you, the small things can actually become quite dangerous quite quickly, I find.
Yeah.
So I think you should take it seriously and just be conscious of what's around you. You'd have to be an FBI agent and review everyone, but just... I scan the environment at all times, you know. I'm not doing it all the time, but I do scan it, you know, when I go somewhere and, you know, if someone's sort of on my radar, I do keep an eye on them. But I'm not like a bloody MI5 agent. I'm not like, oh my god, he's doing this. Like, but not to toot my own horn, but I don't know what it is, but I have such a good spidey sense. I have such a good spidey that I can see people that are off so quickly. I tend to read... I might not know the truth. I might not be able to summarise what's going on, but I don't know what it is. I just have this spidey sense where I can sense if someone's off, like, really quickly. Yeah.
That's a good trait to have.
Yeah.
Good judge of character.
Yeah.
So it's probably worth mentioning, before we get onto our segments, that we're staying in a really cool... Van Gogh themed apartment. Everything from the cushions to the decor is Van Gogh themed. I'm not sure, even like the key that's hung up, I don't know if you noticed, it's a Amsterdam or Netherlands, can't remember, keychain.
Oh, I've seen it.
You've seen it?
Yes.
What's that for?
Ask me if I like Van Gogh.
Do you like Van Gogh?
No.
Okay.
I just don't like his paintings. I just think that painting I can see right there is one of the paintings I hate the most in life.
I do actually think Sunflowers is not...
It's the sunflowers. I mean, David Hockney does it better. The sunflower painting, I lived... Oh my god, I have nightmares. Because I tell you why. My primary school, we were broken up into four, what do you call them?
Forms.
Well, not quite forms, but it was like...
Houses?
The entire houses, there we go. The entire primary school is 4 houses, and you would add points to it for positive things throughout, all ages were in it. For example, sports day, it'd be the difference. And I was in Hockney.
Okay.
I don't mind Hockney paintings. I'm not crazy about them, but I don't mind Hockney paintings. I've never been a big fan of Van Gogh. I don't know what it is, but his paintings just make me feel a bit sick. I think it's the use of the yellow. I don't like it.
There's a lot of movement in them as well.
There's a lot of movement, and I just don't like the brushstrokes. And you have never been in a more Van Gogh branded apartment than this. I'm talking, you probably just think there's a couple paintings. This is a small apartment. From where I sit right now, there are 5 paintings, but it doesn't stop there. There's 6.
7, 8.
Okay, there's
9.
Oh, apparently there's 9 paintings, and it doesn't stop there. There's a Van Gogh cushion, which is a horrible mustard yellow. There's about 7 Van Gogh books. The what do we call these, baby?
Coasters.
The coasters. They're all Van Gogh. Keep going.
The coaster tray, the mug. Have you already said that? The mug.
The mugs are Van Gogh. There's multiple things that are Van Gogh. Also, the table. There's just Van Gogh postcards stuck to the table. I'm already sick. I'm sorry. I'm already sick of it.
Well, I really like it personally.
Don't share this with the host, please. This podcast episode.
Obviously.
I love the apartment. The host is lovely.
Great. Yeah, and the host is amazing.
But the Van Gogh paintings are making me feel sick.
Well, you're just uncultured then, aren't you?
I guess so.
I personally really like Van Gogh. I really want to do that immersive experience like you can go in without you'd hate that.
I'd hate that.
But yes, and I really like the song Vincent.
Maybe I'll take a load of mushrooms and do it. Maybe that'll be better.
Oh, there you go. Good shout. Or you can do it in Amsterdam.
I'll do it in Amsterdam. There we go.
Right, time is escaping us, so I think that it's really important that we get on to your WTF of the week.
Every week, the world gets a little weirder. Let's talk about the strangest thing that went down this week. And we are talking adult tummy time.
Interesting.
This is right up your street, this.
I'm laughing because right before I recorded this, I don't know what the story is, but I assume it's laying on your belly. Which is what I was doing right before.
Yeah, it kind of is, but this is right up your street, this. The floor pose.
Okay.
That's easing. Tech neck.
Oh.
So, it turns out that babies had it right all along. There's a new wellness trend called adult tummy time. And it's helping people fight the neck and back pain caused by hours and hours hunched over laptops and phones, aka tech neck, which is not a term I've heard before. Physical therapists say lying face down on your elbows for 5 to 10 minutes a day can stretch out tight muscles, strengthen posture supporting ones, and ease pressure on your spine. Dr. Morgan even says that it counteracts that forward head and slouch we all fall into. Even a few minutes a day makes the biggest of difference.
Wow.
So, and just a caveat for anyone with spinal conditions who are pregnant, there's other ways of doing it. They mentioned about moving rolling the shoulders, wall push-ups. Oh, okay, that's standing. I was going to say that sounded quite hard. And yoga stretches like cat-cow. I love a cat-cow. So yeah, there we go. So again, it's lying face down on your elbows for 5 to 10 minutes a day.
So that sounds like the cobra pose.
I think it's a little bit... If it's just laying face down on your elbows, it would just be like that, wouldn't it? Yeah, Sphinx. It'd be more like a Sphinx, yeah.
Interesting. Well, I do like a Sphinx pose, and it's a good pose to then be scrolling my phone from. So.
Yeah, well, there we go. You can still scroll your phone, but get rid of tech neck.
There you go.
And I know you taught me one recently as well, but I don't know how I'd explain that.
Well, it's the puppy pose, if you know that in yoga, but you hold onto the corners of your yoga mat and kind of pull the corners away from you. I can't really explain it more than that. So yeah, that was really interesting, WTF. Well done for sharing that, because I'm sure you will have impacted people's lives positively.
Do you think you're going to use it?
Absolutely. All the time. I was on my belly not an hour ago.
There we go. I look forward to watching it tomorrow.
There you go. So from your WTF, let's take a break from the chaos. Here's something to make you smile this week.
Shelby's good vibes only.
A 4-year-old girl from, I think it's Tennessee in America, her, I guess, pre-K teacher had a seizure, and the little girl, just 4 years old, saved her life because she recognised, her mother had actually taught her how to make a phone call, and how to call for help if needed. And so this little girl recognised that her teacher was in trouble, and so she went into a different classroom and said that my teacher's sick. And then they managed to get paramedics to come and save her life. So this 4-year-old girl's quick thinking to go and get help from an adult, because she was like, I'm 4, I don't know what to do. So
What, this happened in a class, did it?
yeah, in a class, like in nursery, like pre-kindergarten,
Wow.
I guess 4 years old.
What happened again, sorry?
The teacher had a seizure. And then
Oh, she had a seizure.
Yeah, she had a
Understood.
seizure,
Wow.
and then-
Oh, that would have been quite frightening then.
Yeah, it happened to me in school once. Like, kids came flying in my classroom.
Oh, right, okay.
Because the cover teacher next door had I don't know exactly what medical condition was, but she would occasionally faint, just for a few seconds at a time.
Right.
But like, yeah, the students come flying in my room like, Mrs. passed out. So like, obviously I was like, okay. Had to go in and like try and wake her up, and then send a student to go and get further support, because I'm now managing 2 classrooms. So they went to the curriculum base to get the head of department. But
Like, good kids.
yeah, really good. I was very proud of them for acting swiftly. Because I mean, you could imagine like in some schools the kids would be like, haha, Mrs. Dead.
Yeah, if they're just suffering.
But thankfully, I've worked at a very nice school where people care. So
Wow, 4-year-old.
yeah, so that's awesome, isn't it? Like 4-year-olds recognising that this adult needs help, so I'm going to get help.
Well, I think she's got it was a girl, wasn't it?
Go, yeah.
She's got a great future.
Absolutely.
Maybe in the NHS.
Well, it's in the US, but yeah, probably.
Well, as a doctor.
Yes.
What was the pause then?
Because the NHS isn't in America.
No, I said as a doctor then.
Okay, yeah, cool, yeah, an American doctor. Got it.
What?
I don't know. Right, travel segment. We are so well over time.
Travel segment, and Shelby has a new no, sorry, you don't have a new AI jingle. We've been playing with AI jingles.
Yes, teaser for
So,
next
teaser
episode.
for 6 episodes' time. I must say the AI jingles are quite impressive. They're more of a song actually, so just to let you know, we might be releasing an official Yalla Habibi song. We might even go as far as creating a whole album. So there we go. A wild
Christmas number 1.
Christmas number 1 is coming out. But there we go. That's what we're playing with in the back end. Oh god! And part of it will have a travel segment jingle. But here we go. Favorite and least favorite thing about Kosovo. Let's start off least favourite. I want to finish on a positive. Least favourite thing about Kosovo. Oh, it was great. For me, it's hard to find something I don't like because it's great. But probably the bloody ATMs. Every ATM, even the ATMs outside the airports, because usually ATM in the airports charge you crazy money. Try avoid them, but even the ATMs in the city, they charge a minimum of €5, and that's astronomical.
Yeah, and that's for all foreign cards, and which I think is an us bank issue. Like, we had a limit on how much we could take out, because you'd think
that was
that's
an us
fine,
issue
'cause
though.
Yeah. But I mean, I assume that most people will have some sort of cap on their cards. But you might just think, if you're going for a couple of weeks, you might think, okay, well, I'll get out €500 and I'll be fine. But we couldn't. Like, I think the max was 320. It was like a really random
Yeah,
amount.
but again, that's totally us. There's nothing to do with Kosovo ATMs.
Yeah, no, true. I suppose. Yeah.
that has nothing to do. That was totally us, and that was
No, but
Ireland.
them
It's not really
charging
set.
€5 at a time is.
But yeah, that it was infuriating them charging €5 at a time.
Yeah.
At home, it would be most like, I don't know, £3 or something.
Which is about €5. No, it's not.
No,
is
it's
it?
not. No, it's not. €5 is about £4.50.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
What shall
Is
I
that
do?
£3? I don't remember last time I got charged at an ATM.
No, a lot of them don't charge now.
Most of them don't charge. It's the rent. It's yeah.
A couple
Whereas
of them in
these
my
all
village
of them
do,
did. Yeah. There we
which is
go.
infuriating. But shall I go with my least favourite and then
Yes.
move on to positives? So this one is probably very specific to the area that we were staying, but Kosovo is quite, like Pristina is quite a small city. There was a lot of construction noise at all hours, which for me was really frustrating because like it was just clanging and banging and drilling, and it was just so loud from like 8 in the morning until, and then they'd stop in the middle of the day and then start again. I guess because it's so hot, so they were like avoiding the midday heat. But yeah, that was my least favourite thing about our time in Kosovo.
Yeah, that's a fair one. Yeah, because it is small there. It's great. I must say it's a very up and coming city. I think it's already got a really fun vibe.
Yeah.
But
I think in
yeah,
10 years it'll be like
it'd be
a
absolute
hot
buzzing.
destination.
Yeah, yeah. I think even in the next 5, it
Yeah,
could be
I
a
think
pretty
so.
hot destination. I just think that their image, the brand of Kosovo is just non-existent.
Yeah, well, it's
Like-
so new.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I'll hold my hand up. I'd never heard of Kosovo until
With butterfly.
we booked a flight to it. The only reason I had heard about it was just by absolute luck. Was I happened to interview someone for actually to replace myself because I'm leaving my company. I happened to interview someone literally a week before it, and they're from Kosovo. And I asked them about, well, I had to literally look it up, but anyway. The favourite thing, and I think it's fine that we do it the same, it's the people. They were just unbelievable. They were just so, like, overly nice, like, so nice. Everyone had a smile. Everyone wanted to help you. Everyone was, like, really sweet as well. Not just kind, like, had manners, but they were sweet. Like, they had a massive grin, and they giggled, and they just, like...
Yeah.
And every one of them asked you, what do you think of the people? Which you mentioned something really important from that, is that they seem to be proud. Which
Yeah.
is, you know, I understand why, but I think that's really special that they're all proud of how welcoming they are, and
Yeah.
etc. And it was nice because it was one of the very few countries we went to where they like the British.
Yeah, they love... well, we had a really interesting chat with the guy outside the church, didn't we?
Yeah, beautiful church in the centre.
Yeah. And like we just randomly got talking to... Oh, I think we asked him to take a photo for us. And we got talking to him, and he said the reason is because of, like, you know, the history around the area. I don't go into too much depth on this because my knowledge isn't very deep. But because of, like, the oppression from Serbia in the past. And they really idealise democracy. And, you know, they view the UK and the US as being, like, absolute freedom. Which we are very fortunate and lucky that, you know, we come from nations like that.
Yeah.
You know, we are totally free to do whatever. I mean, I suppose very wrongfully so, our countries were the oppressors rather than the oppressees, so it's interesting that they view it in that way. But, you know, like, yeah, they view, like, British and American ideals as, like, what they aim for, you know, like, we should be able to be free and independent and all this kind of thing. So it's cool to learn about that, and that...
Both US and UK helped them in the war.
Yeah, absolutely.
To establish themselves, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, Kosovo wasn't a country until 2008?
Something like it was quite recent. The war was also
98.
in the 90s.
Yeah, I think it might have been
Yeah.
98 then. It was very, very, very recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's true. And they got like a Bill Clinton statue. Yes, it must
Yeah,
be
they have a Bill Clinton statue. He looks just like him
It
as well.
So yeah, and like yourself, I know you said it's fine that it's the same, but that would be the very specific part of the people that I would say is my favourite thing, is like how proud they are to be so welcoming. Like, you know, like you said, every single person we met were like, what do you think of Kosovo? And what about the people? Like, that would be, you know, those two, what do you think of our country and what do you think about the people? And like I'm so happy to hear that you've enjoyed it, and like, you know, like they really, you know, tell people they should come and like this kind of thing. And sadly, it's really hard for Kosovans to get UK visas, which blows my mind. I'm like, we could learn a lot from these people in our country. Like, why, you know, I don't know. But yeah, the people are great.
The people are great. And first impressions of Montenegro. It's interesting because we always tend to do that when we've only just landed, and we've barely been out because, you know, we work full time. So, you know, we landed last night. I say we landed, you know, we drove through, and we've worked. So we've barely had an impression on it. So maybe we do a refresher of this on the next episode to give it a fair swing. But what I can give you is the nature around us. There's these stunning mountains from our balcony, absolutely stunning. And that was true when we drove through Albania and through to Montenegro. There is some incredible mountainscapes here. And I'm starting to realise, you know, I always thought you had to go to like the national parks in the US, like Yosemite, Yellowstone, to see these beautiful sights. But I'm starting to realise, wait a minute, we have them on our doorstep. And I mean, we saw things that rivaled El Cap on our drive. So that really excites me for maybe a future trip. But I'd just say the beauty in the mountains is something that I've noticed in Montenegro so far.
Yeah, like the landscape is like. Do you remember when we were driving in? I don't know if we were in Montenegro yet or still in Albania, but like we were in the clouds. Like the clouds were just there.
Yeah, there was a lot of mountain driving, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I was worried you were going to mention it at one point because there was a couple of drops we went past.
Well, I was a little bit worried.
Yeah, I was surprised you bring it up. I didn't bring it up because of that, because I know you're quite...
Yeah, I can be quite anxious about it. About mountain driving. What can I say that's different to that?
It's quite hard because we've not experienced too much yet. I mean, the Turkish taxi driver...
Yeah.
He was amazing.
I suppose something that I've noticed is that it's... I get the impression that it's going to be like Kosovo, but a little bit easier. And what I mean by there's nothing not easy about Kosovo at all. But
it's going to have a lot more history and a lot more going on, though, isn't it? It's a much more established country.
Well, yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. I think it's going to be like similar to Kosovo, but more established. But then there's like, this is going to sound ridiculous, but there's this chain restaurant called Green and Protein that we had.
Oh, it's great.
It is great. So we tried it in Kosovo, and then we had it for lunch here today. And there were a couple more vegan options on the menu. That's do you know?
It was good.
And like we can get tofu. Oh no, we got tofu there.
No, we got tofu there. Yeah.
Yeah. And we can flush the toilet. That's
well, that is a good first
couple of
impression. We
things,
can flush toilet paper there,
which isn't everywhere in the city. I've learned, but
what? Only in part. That seems. It's going to be the same sewage system.
Well, I think it depends on how new the building is, and these are clearly quite new buildings.
Oh, interesting. But that's surprising because it'll eventually end up in the same pipe. So that's.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, like this has probably got a sewage system, whereas you know some of the buildings have like the tanks on top.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of plumbing. Anyway, this has been now a long episode.
It has. We've doubled them. So we have now given you 2 hours of content. So that's actually 4 weeks of content in 2 episodes.
Yeah, so forgive us for being late.
Please. Drop us a 5-star review because of it.
Yes.
It helps a lot. Please.
Go follow us on TikTok.
Please follow us on TikTok. Yes, we've noticed when we post, you know, a content that we know will get engagement from past experience, but when we post it in other countries, the engagement like massively decreases. So I don't know if TikTok's algorithm is hating on us for traveling. I don't know, but but it's been an annoying trend.
It has.
So if you could go and give us some love there as well, and if you drop a 5-star on Spotify or wherever you are, it helps us more than you could ever know.
It does. Thank you very much. Another adventure wrapped up.
But the journey never ends.
Keep your bags packed for the next one, and remember, when in doubt, just say
Yalla Habibi. See you next time.